Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I want to take a couple of minutes and share some very important information with, I guess, in today's message with our sisters. Um, Looking at the title, I'm sure that it made some of you ladies curious in terms of what does that mean? The woman with many faces, or she has many faces. It goes back to, you know, how, man in his fallen state evolved to where we are today in this plasmidic, I think I'm saying it right, plasmidic state where that, soon, I'm not sure if any of us are going to be able to endure this onslaught that's coming. Now, granted, Yah said the very elect would not be destroyed, but he did not say we would not be spared of the plasmatic, events that are to come. But one of the things that led us to this particular place where we are was when the fallen angels, those who, the 200 that were in rebellion and made a conscious decision that they would come down on earth and they would interact with women and they would bear seed or children with these women, all against the laws of Elohim. They knew better than that. They knew that mankind was a separate entity, different from the heavenly host, but in their own desire, in their own lust and jealousy of mankind, they chose to be disobedient. All 200 of them conspired themselves together. They were in confederation together, and they came down and they took women. I want to say it's Genesis 6. If you know anything about the Bible, you heard that story before. But inside of that story, there are a lot of details that were intentionally omitted. But you can find the details in the book of Enoch. And interestingly this morning, and I'm going to be brief, but interestingly this morning, when I was trying to find a particular verse of scripture that talked about the invention of the mirror, you can Google this thing, and I'm telling you, they are fighting and they are fighting. You can't find, if you go to Google and you try to find the invention of mirrors, or you try to find biblically, did mirrors have anything to do with the fallen state of mankind? In other words, do mirrors play a part in our resistance of who Elohim made us to be? You will not find it. I mean, it is well hidden. I mean, they do everything in their power to tell you the book of Enoch is not this, it's not that, it's not biblical. Yet, you can go back to early texts and you will find the book of Enoch right there. You can even go to the book of Jude, and Jude is making references to Enoch. You could go into, again, Genesis, it references Enoch, the book of Enoch. They do not want it exposed what is going on and what has caused many of us, mankind, womankind included, to be in rebellion against Elohim. Unknowingly, in essence, they want to keep us ignorant. And that just goes to show you that Google and YouTube, these are demon seed people. The people who run these companies, the people who work, the people who do all of their shadow banning and community guideline enforcement, these are demons. These are wicked, wicked demons. And I'm not saying that because they're shadow banning my channel and limited exposure, which they are, but they're doing it to many of us out here because they don't want the truth to come out. They want to see this thing to the end. These demons I'm talking about. They want to see the destruction of mankind come to its full maturity because they hate mankind that much. I'm talking about these demons. And many of these demons are walking amongst us, in human bodies, I might add. Many of these demons have taken over human bodies. Many of these demons are in many of our people. Unfortunately, some of you have them. I know I've had them. I'll be transparent. You know what I'm saying? I've had them before. By the grace of Elohim, I repented and I rebuked them, and I used the word to cleanse myself of them. But surely I've had them. I mean, I've done a lot of good in my life, but I damn sure did some things in my past that if I had to do it over again, I sure would not do it, barely knowing what was driving me to do it. But I opened myself up to wickedness, and wickedness is right there looking, and gladly taking the invitation. So many of you are carrying demons too. Knowingly, some of you, and unknowingly, also some of you. Some of you don't realize that you're in your lack of knowledge, you have given your bodies over to demons. And now they're controlling you. And sisters, I bring this truth to you, because you can help us fight them probably better. You can be the greatest warrior in this particular battle. For your children, for your men, and overall for your people. I'm going to read something to you real quick. And it's going to be out of the book of Enoch. That's why I gave my little dissertation on it. Because, again, they don't want you to read this book. The Catholic Church took this book out long, long ago. In the year 325, I believe it was. At the Council of I want to say it's Nicaea. But they removed many of these original texts, because they knew if you were to see what was in these books, they could never control you. And that it will become obvious who is controlling them, Satan. So they hid this book from us. They hid our identity from us too, I might add. That's why they got people thinking that, a pale-skinned person are the true Israelites, when the Israelites throughout their history were a dark-skinned people. It's all through the book. Even Yeshua is described as a dark-skinned man. Even Elohim is described as a man of color, so to speak. Brown, copper color, bronze looking. Us. All through the book, we were made from the earth. If we were taken out of the earth, think about it logically. If we were taken from the earth, if the human body was created from the earth, what color is dirt? What color is the earth? It's sure not white or almost white or pale or whatever else. You digging, go outside if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm sure some of you guys can find some grass. Go to a park. If you live in the concrete jungle and you can't find any dirt, go to a park. If you're in New York City, go to Central Park. And you just go with a little spoon, a tablespoon. And I want you to just dig in the ground and tell me what color you see down there. See if you see something very similar to this color. So it's obvious the first creation looked like us. And not only is the first creation looking like us, that creation was made in the likeness, in the image of Elohim. Go back and read Genesis chapter 2 if you need some clarification there. But this was hidden from us too, because they did not want you to know that truth. Because if you knew who you were, Israel, sisters, talking to you right now, if you truly knew who you were and are, then you would not be so easily led astray by their lies. And here's one of the key ways they use you, sister, and these demons are still using many of you sisters, many of our sisters. And here's how they're doing it. Look, I'm going to take you over to the book of Enoch. And I'm going to take you over to verse 8. Chapter 8, I'm sorry. Azazel, who was one of the fallen, he was the leader of the demons who were thrown, who left their heavenly state and came down here and had sex with women. He was the leader of them. Look what he did. This demon taught men to make swords. This demon taught men to make knives. This demon taught men to make shields. This demon taught men to make military armor, shields. This demon also created mirrors. Mirrors. This demon also taught men how to make bracelets, ornaments, the use of makeup for the beautifying of their eyebrows, stones, they're talking about diamonds, and how to use all kind of dyes. Dyeing our hair, dyeing your hair, all kind of dyes. And all of this was done so that the world could be altered. It was all done so they could alter the world, to change the world from the natural use of Elohim into the unnatural use of man. The book of Romans talks about that. If you go to Romans chapter 1, start reading around 21, it says he left the natural use of the woman. And men lusted themselves to be with other men. And women likewise did the same thing too. They altered the world. And they used makeup. This is the many faces that I'm talking about. Sisters, here's something I want to challenge you on. And I am not speaking against makeup. That's your decision. I'm going to give you, the origins of it, and then you make the decision on what you think is best for you and your walk before Elohim. All right? But you should know the truth. And your preacher is not going to preach that. You know that. I'll stop there. You're not going to get it. And you're not going to get it. If you're waiting for this truth to come to you, I can assure you, except you're sitting here listening to this message, you're not going to get this truth. So here's the facts. That mirror has caused many of our sisters to become so insecure in themselves that they alter their faces almost every single day. Alter means change their look. They put on, light makeup, dark makeup, rouge makeup, purple makeup, green makeup. They're dyeing their hair green, red, blonde, black, brunette, you name it. But constantly altering themselves. And who came up with that? Unfortunately, sisters, Satan did. At least one of his followers, one of his top lieutenants came up with this. And he used this to alter not only mankind, because he's causing you to alter yourself, because he's telling you that in your natural self, you're not good enough. Because that's a question that at least ought to be considered. Why do I feel like every day I get up, I gotta put on something to make me look better? I'm talking about, makeup or what have you. Why do I have to alter myself every day? Alter my hair. Alter means change it from its natural self. And it'd be different if you did it, if it was just one particular method that you used. You know what I'm saying? And even though that would be altering yourself, but in many cases, a lot of our sisters are altering yourselves every single day. And the question is, what is inspiring you to do that? What voice that you're listening to, because we're all listening to voices, all of us. We call it conscious, subconscious, thoughts, what you're thinking about. Well, whatever you're thinking about is what you're listening to. So who are you listening to? Who originated this idea that you must alter yourself to be beautiful, or to be attractive, or to feel good about yourself, to feel confident? Whatever your reason is. But I want you to understand that he put that in play because he wanted to alter the way the world was perceiving you as the mother, and the way you as a mother were perceiving yourself, so that you would be very hard to understand. In other words, he was trying to create confusion within our people and using you, as the ultimate tool where that even your men would have a hard time trying to figure out what's on your mind. What are you thinking about? Because see, the one thing about, Elohim and his word, it's consistent, it's stable, it's established, and it's easy to be understood. He's not the author of confusion. And I know many of your hearts are good. I'm not questioning your intentions, sisters. I'm questioning your knowledge in terms of, have you taken some time to consider, this mirror? Without that mirror, would you be doing all this alteration? And again, who invented this mirror? And what was the purpose of that mirror? How is that mirror utilized? Has that mirror caused you to feel insecure about yourself? If you're an older woman, has that mirror caused you to start altering yourself because you're now feeling insecure and unwanted because you're an older woman? Because maybe your skin now has some spots in it. Maybe your skin is now showing some wrinkles. And every morning you get up and you look in that mirror, it is a reminder to you of your imperfections, as though spots and wrinkles are imperfection. I would challenge you to say that spots and wrinkles are not an imperfection. I would bring forward and tell you that your spot or your wrinkle is just a part of a life lived long, which in more cases than not is a blessing. Just like your gray hair is. You younger women, think about it. A lot of you are fighting with other women. And why are you fighting with, let's be clear, a lot of you are fighting with other women because of issues around appearance. Insecurity around appearance. Even, I know you don't want me to say it, but I'm going to say it, jealous of other women based off of appearance. You're constantly judging her. Look at her hair. Look at what she got on. You know how you do, say, sister. I don't know all your thoughts. All I know is all of your constant altering of things that is almost to the point we get to see a new you every single day. Therefore, we don't really know who you are most of the time. And this alteration, I want you to understand, was put in play to corrupt your inside, and now your outside is a reflection of your inside. Young lady. Now you middle-aged women, 35 to 50. Look what it's doing to you. Many of you are in competition with your own children now, your own daughters. When you look at your daughter, you start to feel somewhat intimidated. And what does that intimidate you? You say, no, I'm not. Well, it's hard to tell. Because now we look at your young daughter who cuts her hair off and put designs in her head. We see you doing the same thing. We see you taking upon, altering all kinds of things on your body. Again, to make yourself look like everything except for your natural self. And so my question to you is, who told you that in your natural self that you were not beautiful enough? I'm not talking about some man or woman who told you that. I'm talking about what spirit, if that's in your head talking to you, telling you that in order for you to stay attractive, you got to alter yourself. You have to have many faces. Back in the day, we called it two faces. If you one day you're doing this and next day you're doing just the opposite, we called that a two-faced person. In other words, we were saying they're not trustworthy. But now we have multiple faces going on here. To the point that, again, any given day, we can look and have to take a second look to try to figure out, how did you transform to what you look like yesterday to today? Yesterday, your hair was short. Today, your hair is long. Tomorrow, your hair will be medium. Yesterday, your hair was thick and rich. Today, it's long and thin. You see that as beautification. Satan see it as alteration. In other words, Satan said, let me alter her to keep her in a state of insecurity or uncertainty about herself, and that way she can never be stable enough to be able to reach her full potential of self. So let me keep her guessing about who she gonna be. Let me keep her guessing about if she's good enough. Let me keep, her, in a total state of insecurity in competing against others. Oh, she got her eyebrows done. I got to get my eyebrows done. Oh, she got her nails done. I'm going to go get my nails done too. Whatever it is that you're doing. He said, look here. Again, sisters, before you take offense, ask yourself a simple question. If I'm telling you where it came from, no one else is telling you where it came from. It came from somewhere. All these ideas, thoughts, and suggestions that mankind has came from somewhere. So if I'm sitting here telling you where it came from at the very beginning of mankind, if I'm explaining that to you, there's no need to get upset with your brother. Because I'm saying it for your information, for your knowledge, for your consideration. Because the more you start to alter yourself, the more you lose yourself. I'm going to say it to you again, sisters. The more you alter your natural self, the more you start to lose yourself. And one day, you're going to have to deal with the reality that you were hiding from your true self. And you know what? All that insecurity that you didn't know was insecurity, you're going to have to deal with it face to face on your deathbed or at judgment. Because if you're so insecure about yourself now that you have to alter yourself, and I know you're going to say, it's not my insecurity, I'm just confident. Well, a confident person, it doesn't have to do anything to enhance themselves. They're already good enough. They already know that. They don't need someone or something, you follow me, to express their confidence. Their confidence is an inner confidence. But you're going to end up on your deathbed in that same uncertainty that causes you today to get up and want to be a blonde-haired woman. Tomorrow make you get up and you want to have, you want to put this stuff on your skin that's clogging up your pores, that's altering your body, that's getting inside of your skin and really damaging your skin, if you want to know the truth. So I don't use a lot, it doesn't matter. It's almost like you're saying, Yah didn't make you perfect. That Yah didn't make you beautiful enough. And you're using that mirror to examine Elohim's handiwork and then make your own decision on whether or not his hands made you beautiful enough. You know why? Because you are measuring beauty by envy. I'm going to say it to you again. You are measuring beauty by the spirit of envy. Because if you weren't being envious of another or something you've seen somewhere, a picture maybe, if it's not another person, it's probably a picture of someone else, then you would have the confidence and the peace to be your natural self. Talking about physically. Because if Satan's going to control your outer, the inner controls your outer. So if your outer is a constant altering yourself, your inner is too. I'll even pitch this out here to you. Maybe that's why some of you guys can't have any stability in your relationships with men. Because as your mind is altered, he can't read your mind. You'll say, well, if he loved me, he should know what I expect. How would he know what you expect when you don't know what you expect day in and day out? Most of you, you know I'm right, day to day, your emotions are flip-flopping all day long. How could he ever know what you're thinking? And so if he doesn't know what you're thinking because of your instability, he can never love you the way you want to be loved. Because you can't love yourself the way you need to be loved. That's why you're altering yourselves. That's why Satan put that demon spirit out there to cause you to have insecurity. Makeup was invented for you not to feel beautiful. Bracelets, you know what I'm saying, were invented for you not to feel beautiful. The mirror. You remember when we were children, the series Snow White? Or the story of Snow White? Y'all remember Snow White? Who looked in the mirror every day? Y'all remember who it was? The Wicked Witch. Sisters, y'all remember that? It was the Wicked Witch who used the mirror to see if she was beautiful enough. You remember? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest? Fair is another word for beautiful. Who is the fairest of them all? And every day that mirror would talk back to her. Oh my goodness. Aziel in that mirror would talk back to her. You're the most beautiful. You're the most beautiful. And then one day, that mirror said, got bad news for you. Snow White is the most beautiful now. And what happened? That mirror caused her to be envious of another woman. Of course, in this case, they were pushing racism because they said, Snow White, the purity of whiteness. That's the most beautiful. Now, we know that's a lie. But they didn't give a damn about that. So they told every other woman on the planet, unless you were Snow White, in other words, you were pure white, you weren't good enough. And no wonder now many of our sisters are lightening their skin, doing, putting all kind of, skin whiteners on, extending their hair, changing the color of their eyes to blue and green colors that are not natural to the Israelite woman, wearing clothing to expose themselves. That's definitely not natural for the Hebrew woman, the Israelite woman, because our women would test to dress modestly, not revealing themselves. Amen. Our women were instructed by Elohim to have a meek and humble, beautify yourself with meekness and a humble spirit, which is of high regard before Elohim. That's what Elohim sees in you, my sister, as beauty. But Satan, Aziel, the demons, the same ones who violated their first place and came down here and created all this havoc on the earth, it wanted you to be jealous and insecure about yourself so it could always control you. So every time you go into the cosmetic store and buy their cosmetics, the money is going to the same people who are destroying our communities, destroying our people. Every time you go buy their cosmetics, every time you go into these shops and buy their nails and bras, you are financing the same people who hate your people. What does Psalm 83 say? They all were confederate against Israel. You, my sister. Every time you go buy their revealing clothing because, you need to get it tighter and tighter, you're supporting the enemy. Every time you go and buy their hair and stick it on your crown, on your beautiful head that should be nothing above it but Elohim or your man, you're supporting your enemy. And by the way, I just want you to remember, those hairs, before they sell that hair, they pray over that hair. They pray for prosperity. They pray that hair will enrich them. And you know who they pray to? Their idol gods. So when you wear their hair, what you're doing is putting on hair that has been condemned. That is witchcraft, that has a spell cast on it. And now that spell, you're carrying it on your head. When you buy their diamonds and you go and you say, well, if a man loves me, he's going to buy diamonds. Well, these stones, which are really worthless. And many of you sisters, if he can't buy you diamonds or he can't buy you pearls, that man ain't good enough for you. Or to show your regalness, your royalty, instead of letting your natural beauty shine, you got to go get bling. You got to go get the things that the demons pulled out of this earth, so that you would lust for those things and not seek Elohim. If you were going to lust, you should be, that's not our Rahuk. But if it was our Rahuk, we should be lusting to know more about who we are. We should be lusting to know the origins of things so that we understand what we're doing. And we would want to know, am I bringing a curse on myself ignorantly? And I bring this out to you, sisters, because we as a people, as a nation, will never survive without our women being the core foundation for us. The men are important, but without you, there is no men. You are the very fruit of the earth. But now, like salt, that fruit is become contaminated. And that contamination is the alteration that Enoch, who was at the time he was alive, was sought after by every great man, every great king, every person who wanted knowledge, every man, every woman who wanted to know more about Yahuwah. This was told to those men. So do you think that these people, our ancestors, would do these things, wear this stuff, alter themselves? Absolutely not. Because Enoch told them who created that stuff. And he told them to warn us not to do it. But because now wickedness prevails in our land, there is no voice crying out, reminding us that these things are bringing demon spirits into your body, bringing demon spirits into your homes, and you're passing these spirits down generation to generation. Because now the mother got the daughter dressing revealing. Now the mother got the daughter with braids in their hair, makeup on their faces. And I can go on and on and on. All these things now are corrupting your children, and now it's becoming a generational curse. Passed down from one mother to the next future mother to the next future mother. I'm talking about your children and your children's children. And all of this is because of a lack of knowledge. What did Hosea 4:6 says? That Elohim's people were destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because we did not know the truth, then we were deceived into believing that something that Elohim made as perfect and beautiful as a woman of Israel, now that woman has no self-confidence in her natural self, and now she's altering herself ignorantly. Now, this word ignorant means lack of knowledge, not stupid. Okay? Go look up the definition of ignorance. It means a lack of knowledge. You don't have all the information. Therefore, you were ignorant. You did not know. But so now, ignorantly, we're putting on Satan's customs and thinking that Elohim is going to bless that. He won't bless anything, sisters, that's cursed. Elohim is not going to bless anything that's been contaminated. That's why you have to keep on doing it. It's almost like you're in a cultural ritual. You have to get up every day and do that ritual every day. Think about that. You got to do the ritual of painting your face, the ritual of altering your hair, the ritual of extending your eyelashes, the ritual of revealing your body to a wicked demon male population that has no inner respect for themselves, and therefore they betray their disrespect onto you. That's why they talk to many of you the way they talk, or look at you the way they're looking at you, like you just a whore or someone to dump semen in, and then disregard you. And what you're doing unknowingly is constantly saying, why doesn't he want me? Why am I not good enough? Because Satan told you that. You said, well, Satan's not talking to me. Well, if you're doing these things, yes, he is. Not only is he talking to you, he's controlling you. Do you know our Elohim is so particular about our people that any small violation was considered condemnation, was contamination? If our forefathers brought a sheep with one spot to offer to Elohim as a sacrifice, he would kill the sheep and kill the person who brought that sheep. There's a story where one of David's men, I think his name was, I want to pronounce this, Israel, who was walking behind a cart that the tabernacle of the Most High was on. And that cart shook, and the tabernacle was about to fall to the ground. This man, out of the sacredness, the sacredness of understanding that ark couldn't hit the ground, caught the ark. But what he did not understand, that to touch that ark, if you went out high priest, was a death sentence. Yah killed him on the spot. And he thought he was doing the right thing. But he was in violation. Many of you think that this is a harmless act. But what if it isn't? What if it isn't? What if all the things, our children are dying? Our children are under bondage, incarcerated, self-hatred, envious of each other, jealous of each other. We are poor and even getting poorer. We're becoming the target of a madman to inoculate us. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What if all this is happening to us because of this? What if the curse, sisters, that you're trying to figure out why can I not be in a stable relationship? Why can't my man love me for who I am? Maybe because you don't know who you are, because you're being altered every single day. Maybe because he doesn't even know who you are, because you're being altered every day. What if Yah has cursed your man because he hasn't told you the truth? And, so my point is, how do you know? How do you know? If you look at the evidence, there's a lot of evidence that tells us as a people something is wrong. Something is wrong between us and Elohim. There's a lot of evidence that tells us that. The question is, why aren't we listening to that evidence? Why are we turning a deaf ear to the truth when we see the truth with our own eyes? When this truth was written thousands of years ago to warn us that these things would one day try to control us, to destroy us. Why are we hating truth now, sisters? Again, what makeup is causing you to have many different faces. And makeup causes you to feel a certain way about yourself. Means, again, many different faces. How I feel today is depending on what kind of hair I want. How I feel today is when I go to the hairdresser, I'm going to tell her to give me this style. How I feel today when I go to the store, I'm going to go get this type of clothing. How I feel today is, again, whatever you're going to do to alter yourself for that day. And then you're going to be like that witch, constantly looking in the mirror for approval. Constantly. That demon in the mirror that's telling you that you're not good enough. And one day, that demon's going to send someone for you to be envious of. He already sent them. The white woman. Every woman on this planet, every non-white woman on this planet, when she was a little girl, I guarantee you, was envious of a white Barbie doll, a white Lazy Susan, whatever that is, a white something, a white, cartoon character, a white Farrah Fawcett, a white something. And you can deny it. Many of you probably don't even remember it. All of the dolls that you played with, what color was it when you were a little girl? With a few exceptions, some of you who had parents who were, they were about being the people. They would never bought you no white doll. But many of you under your Christmas trees, your pagan Christmas, I might add, you found a white doll under there for you to play with. A white Ken doll for your white some kind of doll. A white little baby doll you gave the little milk bottle to. I know you did because I saw them in my house too for my sisters. So let's not pretend. And even again, there's all kind of evidence out here that she is, you know what I'm saying, Snow White, the pure white woman, is the apex of what beauty is. And therefore we're altering ourselves to compete with her. Unknowingly, ignorantly. Remember, the word ignorance does not mean you're stupid. It just means you just don't know. Because Satan has blinded you to the truth. Instead of understanding that you were made perfect by Elohim. However you came out, whatever you are looking like, that is a perfect you. Granted, you can't eat anything because then you're going to get all fat and out of shape. Your skin going to be looking all funky because you're putting all that poison in your body. Drinking soft drinks every day, not drinking water. Eating potato chips and pizza, fried chicken, you know, pig lips, pickles. Not pickles probably not that bad. But eating pork chops, pigs, and you follow, you stuffing all that stuff in you. That's the only reason why your body is all beat up and out of shape. Including drinking alcohol and drugs, too much of it. Every weekend you out there with your girls, y'all drinking. You and your, you know, with the boys drinking, whatever. That's the only reason why your body is lost its natural, beautiful shape. In many cases. A lot of you ladies, that's why you're aging so fast. Why you don't look. You should look at 30. You should look at 60. You know, the same way you looked at 30. And if you were taking care of yourself and not putting all that stuff on you and being disillusioned about what natural beauty was, you probably would look that way. And again, managing what you put in your body and getting some exercise. Because in the truth, the most beautiful women on the planet is the Israelite woman. But she doesn't know it. Because she's been deceived by Aziel. Aziel told her, no, you need a mirror so you can constantly have many faces. You need to alter your face so you have many faces. Alter your eyes, alter your hair, alter your body, alter your clothes, expose yourself, reveal yourself. The more faces you have, the more attractive you become. When the truth of it is just the opposite. It's just the opposite. The more faces you have, the less understood you are, the less dependable you're going to be. Because ultimately, if you're spending all that time altering yourself, how much time do you have being your natural self? And you say all the time, I want a good man, I want a real man. Well, a real man is a man in his natural mind. You don't want no unnatural woman. You don't want no woman who's every time he talks to her, she got a different attitude. She's today, she's thinking this way, and tomorrow she's totally different. And he's sitting there trying to figure out, what is your problem, woman? I don't have no problem. Well, yes, you do. You just don't know you do. So he's looking at the man you desire is looking at you saying, well, how can I desire you, if every single day there's going to be a different you? How about just showing some stability here? How about let me wake up every day and seeing the natural, pure, beautiful you? And let me learn to appreciate and love that. Instead of constantly wasting resources, altering yourself, financing the enemy who's doing everything in their power to tear you down. To despise and hate and disrespect us. Now see, these are the truth. This is the truth. What do Yeshua say? You shall know the truth. And that truth will what? Make you free. In other words, this is a big challenge in our community. Many faces. Instability. Lack of consistency. Which makes you, quite frankly, not dependable. Because your mood swings. And they say, all women are moody. Says who? Where do you find that at in the book? If you were obeying Elohim's laws and statutes and commandments, you wouldn't be, unstable. An emotional roller coaster. Because there will be guidelines that you can live by. that you can, obey, that will keep you stable. But when you resist the truth, then you have to embrace the lies. And the lies is that you have to have many faces to make yourself happy. And one day, like that wicked witch in Snow White, you're going to come to the realization that all of that, disguising of yourself was a mirage. And when you finally stop doing all this harmful stuff to your body, you're going to look like that ugly witch. Because inside of that beauty that she was pretending to be, that she thought she was, how she thought she was, tempting the whole world with her beauty, was nothing but an ugly, weak, despicable, bitter witch. And she got shown up by her natural enemy, the white woman. And let me add this little two things before I'm done. For you Caucasian women, if you're listening to this message, it's not your fault that you have become the envy of the world. But you do play a part in it if you allow that to be your excuse for hating the people of Elohim. You are accountable for it if you encourage them to put on things so that they can look more beautiful when you know in your heart of heart they're just trying to emulate you. So, and also, you are accountable for disfiguring yourself. Now, if you're a stranger and you align yourself with Israel and you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, our book said a stranger will have a place in the world to come. So this doesn't apply to all of you, but unfortunately, most of you. Absolutely, it does. But this message, again, is not intended for you. This is for my people. My people are being destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Your people are serving your God, Satan, and you will be destroyed for your decisions, for your actions and your behavior, for the shit you have condoned. But again, be honest with you, I don't give a shit about how you feel. This message is for my people. I feel just like you don't care about my people, I'm not concerning myself with your people. But I truly care about my sisters. And so, sisters, I'm going to say this to you. Maybe it's time for you to reconsider what you're altering yourself. If you got a problem with what I said, can you please go to the book of Enoch? Can you go to chapter 8? And can you start reading right there? Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors. Why you think the selfie thing is gone crazy? OnlyFans, Instagram, DMs, all this stuff. In order to be successful in that, you have to alter yourself. You almost have to present yourself as a whore to finance yourself, as a piece of flesh for men to lust after. And you are disillusioned through your makeup, your altering, to think that they really want you. No, they want that image that you project. Because one day, those high titties are going to get flat. That big ass is going to drop. That tight waist is going to flop. That beautiful skin is going to get wrinkled and ugly because you have pores in it, putting facial pores on. And that hair, all of it's going to fall out. And you'll be left with a wig to cover up your baldness. Now, that's the book. Go read Isaiah chapter 3 if you don't believe your brother. That's the price you're going to get for altering yourself. Is it worth it? That's a question you got to deal with. I'm not judging you. I'm just bringing it out because no one else seems to give a damn about you enough to tell you the truth. So I'm going to tell you the truth. You don't need those many faces. The last thing I'll say, you kind of remind me of the Game of Thrones, that little girl, Ariel. Remember Ariel? Everybody, all the people she loved in her family were murdered. And so she went to the God of many faces. Remember that young man who would shape shift? And she learned to shape shift just like he did. Remember? Because she was bitter. And she wanted to get vengeance. In other words, that book is talking about, that series is talking about this book. It is talking about how that altering yourself is another form of wickedness. And he kept catching her because she didn't know who she was. Sisters, Satan is going to keep on beating you down and tearing down your families and tearing down everything that we love because of this alteration based upon this judgment, this wicked demon planted here amongst men and taught our women. That's what it says. Azael taught bracelets. He taught ornaments. He taught painting of face, beautifying of the eyebrows, stones, invaluable select stones, rubies, diamonds, pearls, and all sorts of dyes, dyeing your hair, dyeing, all yourself, your face. He taught men to do that. And you know what? As he taught them to, the Bible says, the book says, impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all of their ways. So a lot of you talking about, I'm against fornication, then why are you presenting yourself in a way that encouraged fornication, sister? Don't you know that your makeup is encouraging fornication? Because now your man is trying to find which one of y'all are going to be the fairest of them all. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? So now he wants you, but a better you comes, he wants that one. And you're treating him to be that, because every time he sees you doing something to better, what Elohim has made perfect, you're training him to look for something better. Maybe ignorantly, but that's what you're doing. And then when he starts cheating and fornicating and all these things, go look in the mirror. That's where the answer will lie. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.